Well, it's one of the few guys that can do it in the game. I mean, he can really throw, and we've said that. We've said he makes some incredible throws again, and that's what he did. And just a really good job with the staff tonight. And you get a big homer from Tyler Austin. I mean, young kid steps up again, and it's great to see.
Joe, was it pretty amazing the fact that he had never faced Sale before? First contact he makes is a home run.
I mean, and then you look at his next at bat. I mean, it's another good at bat. So his at bats were good all night, but it is incredible because Chris Sale was, an outstanding pitcher and doesn't give up a lot of runs, and we were able to get enough tonight.
Did you feel like when you get on the board there, that really sets the tone?
Well, I mean, you hope that, you can shut him down. CC was pitching great. I thought he was brilliant tonight. Had he not been on a long layoff, maybe you send him back out, but he has not pitched a lot in the second half, and we thought that was it, and he did a great job.
Dylan also said on the field he didn't really know he was closing tonight until Robertson went in the game. What made you decide to configure that bullpen the way you did?
Well, I let him know that both of them could close tonight. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. I knew that I had Robbie for, in my mind, I had Robbie for more than 3 outs, and I didn't have Dylan for more than 3 outs. So kind of just let the game set itself up, and that's what happened.
Did the way the lineup was turning over for the Red Sox have any?
No, it was more that I had warmed. I'd made the decision if I needed multiple outs, multiple innings, it would be Robbie instead of Dylan tonight because I think he had worked, 4 out of the last 6 days, 3 in a row, and I figured that multiple innings would be too much for him.
Joe, I know it worked out for you guys, but there's a wild pitch, Robertson in the 8th inning, and then Betances there in the 9th. Is that just a tough play for Sanchez, or should he make that?
They're tough blocks, and nobody feels worse than him. But he's been working his rear end off, and he has improved, and he does a really good job, and so these are balls have a lot of bite on him, and as he sees them more, he'll understand that, and he'll continue to improve.
How come you went out to visit Robertson in the 8th?
Situation.
Okay, how about Todd Frazier's night tonight, both defensively?
Yeah, really a great night. A diving play, a home run, gets on, getting hit in the knee. That can't be really fun, but ended up being a big run. He just had an outstanding night, too.
Is he okay?
Yeah, it kind of hit that nerve on the left side of his leg, and, I'll see how he is tomorrow.
Joe, you had a earlier stretch coming out of the All-Star break here where you lost a really tough game and bounced back. I mean, how would you just kind of describe your team's ability to bounce back from adversity?
Well, I've said all along, this team really fights, and they've done a pretty good job of turning the page. You lose a tough game. Again, they turned the page. We lost a tough game the Friday night, the first time we were here after the All-Star break, and CC went out and delivered, and we were able to turn the page. So that's really important because you're going to have some tough losses, and I think our guys have handled it well. It says a lot about the guys in that room and the leadership.
How has Devers changed their lineup?
I mean, he's playing extremely well. He's hot. He's playing extremely well, and was hitting the ball at the ballpark, and it's changed it.
Joe, that night in Toronto when CC left, did you ever think he could be back in the minimum 10 days and pitch as well as
I know that he was pretty emotional that night because I think he thought he was probably headed for surgery, and we said, let's just see, before we jump to any conclusions. But if you were to listen to the tone in his voice, and he's been through it enough times that he understands what it is, you probably wouldn't have guessed that. No.
Judges, I think he's 4 for 27 with runners in scoring position in the second half. Can you afford to have him in one of those RBI positions if he keeps going like this?
Yeah. He's going to stay there. I'm not going to move him. He's still dangerous. He's still getting on. He's still, getting on at a pretty high clip, and he's on in front of some other guys that are swinging the bat well. So, yeah, he's going to stay there.
What was the conversation like with Robertson and just with Moreland?
My conversation.
What's that?
That's my conversation.
Okay. I mean, well, was that your decision to walk him, or did you leave it up to David?
My conversation. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. I mean, I'm ultimately in charge, so 2 to 2 together.
So will you do game by game as far as that Robertson-Betances combination, depending on how much you have?
Yeah, I think I got to look at it every day to see who's available for multiple innings. So I would guess neither one is available for multiple innings tomorrow. I mean, I can check, but I would so it might be just an 8th and a 9th sort of thing, and then might have to ask some from some other guys.
Joe, what's the ground rule on the home run?
So if it hits above the bullpen, and hits left of the bullpen, that line above it, it goes to the right. And goes to the right is a home run. I guess if it hits below it, the bullpen, it would have been a ground rule double. It's kind of weird. The reason I don't want to talk about it is because there's pitch strategy that we talk about, and that's between player and manager.
Is it, Sanchez, is it a matter of kind of making himself softer on those
I think it's
blocks?
angles. I think it's understanding. Robbie's going to throw 2 different breaking balls. Dellen's going to throw 2 different breaking balls at times. So I think it's experience. Getting. He hasn't seen a lot of Robbie, and he was only there 2 months for Dellen last year, so he hasn't seen a ton of it. So it's experience.
Joe, when you made the Chapman decision, did some part of you know tonight would be a 1-run game, and you'd have to be
can feel it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but it seems like a lot of the games we've had with them this year have been like this, close, back and forth. So you figured it would be. You have 2 teams that have pitched pretty well this year. You figured it would be. You figure that you got Sale on the mound. Not going to be a ton of runs. Yeah.
You have to make a ton of decisions over the course of a season, and you have to have conviction in it. But any part of you, like, as this is going on, bases loaded against Robertson, then wild pitch against Betances, where you're like, tonight, really? We can't just have this clean on the first day of this?
Well, I mean, when you face these guys, it's going to be tough. Their at-bats are tough. They're going to battle you to the end, and they're going to grind out at-bats, and you understand it's going to be that way going in. But, yes, sometimes you do say that in your mind.
Was that a contact play with Ellsbury?
Yeah.
Pretty close to being 4-0 in games Sale started. That's
It's
pretty.
And he's pitched really well against us. I think the credit has to go to our pitching staff and what they've done.
Joe, you lined up tonight Warren and then deciding that, or did you ever think about Chapman for the 7th tonight?
No, I lined up Warren and then was going to go from there.